Tomorrow in the morning I'm flying home. Oh, I'm hoping to fly home because there's a lot of stuff cooking up today. Whole morning there was a lot of trucks. Apparently some tanks coming in because they're saying there's some sort of taking over cooking up. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but just to be on the safe side, I tried to fly out tonight, but there's no flights, all sold out. So fingers crossed I can leave Moscow tomorrow before everything will start. But before you find out what's happened to me in July, we will see Izmailovo Kremlin in January 2023. If you watch to the end, you will see how my summer trip to Izmailovo will end. So Moscow has not just one, but two Kremlins. And why is this? Since 1951, here in Izmailovo was a vernissage, a flea market where you can buy anything and everything, legal and also not so much. This place also was very popular for painters who sold the art on the weekends. By the way, I have a painting which my mom and I bought here in late 80s. But the Kremlin story began with Alexander Ushakov and Marina Alexeyeva, who founded it in 2003. It is interesting to know that the idea came to Alexander while he was sleeping. After some time, the project was presented to the town planner and Kremlin was built on the site of the imperial residence of Romanov dynasty, where the different factories were located. The interesting fact that Peter I found on this place his first boat, and here the history of Russian Navy had started. Izmailovo Kremlin is imitation of Moscow based on sketches from 14th and 17th century. It is supposed to depict many elements of old Russian architecture. It is also inspired by drawing of Russian fairy tales. One of the main goals of this cultural complex is maintaining and reviving family traditions. This is why Maria Alexeyeva insisted on opening a palace of marriage, of registrar to you and me, and hall for family holiday, which anyone can rent for special occasions. There are also tons of small and quirky museums, so you can see a lot of groups of children taken by schools on the day trips. This one right outside, it's a vodka museum, and it's called 365 Reasons to Drink. And month by month, every day have something. For example, July 7th, birthday of Dr. Watson. So, if in July of 7th you want to have a drink, you can use this as a reason. Also January 8th, birthday of Elvis Presley, and so on, so on. Quite funny. You don't have to remember all of it. Inside the museum, you can buy this calendar. So if you want to have a glass of wine and your husband or wife or your partner saying to you why, you just point out why. I'm going to Vodka Museum or Vodka History Museum. I might even going to have a little bit taste of it, but I have to tell you a secret. I am Russian, but I hate vodka. But who knows, maybe after this I change my mind. The Russian vodka is a very important element of Russian culture. For centuries, Russian celebrations was accompanied by vodka. The purpose of Vodka Museum is to present the history and tradition in a fun, interactive way. There are QR codes for every exposition, and by scanning them you can find out how vodka was become about and the role of vodka in many events throughout the century. Museum is very small but very interesting, and ticket is only £2.50. So this is all the different types bottles we did produce before. This one show you small examples of different vodka, but do you see this? I've got this one. Obviously, we drank the vodka, but I still got this. I didn't realize this is sort of museum piece, so I'm definitely gonna look after that. This one called gzhelka, because as you can see, it's made in a bowl, like a barrel with a gel decoration. Actually, those ones to buy quite expensive, because you're obviously mostly not paying for vodka, you're mostly paying for what vodka is. And all these cupboards you can see production by the region. Kaluga region, Tula region. This one which was made in World War II. This one, some of them like the breast examples. You see this one, it was just make few of those. So if you have any of it at home, maybe you bought it on holiday, keep it, because lots of money now. You see this phone? I used to have one of those, just mine was in the beige color, creamy color. And this how used the shops look. I actually remember myself those scales, and my nan used to have them because she used to sell on the market fruits and veg. I'm not that old, but I do remember shops looks like this. And fridge like this. I bet it's Zeal. Yep, Zeal. Top of the range in Soviet time. I don't know if you can see it very well or not, but look, vodka is a snake inside, and there's some sorts of herbs. Apparently snake give a different type of flavor. Ugh. Doesn't look really nice. In this vodka museum for £2.50 you can try 3 drinks. They're giving you vodka, different type of flavor. If you don't like vodka, like I don't, you can drink, and different types of liquors. This one, it's medavukh, which is based on honey, but it's raspberry flavor. It smells a little bit like sort of alcoholic raspberry, but it's really, really nice. It's so smooth. I can drink whole bottle. And I have some girls here, and we are by the typical Russian tradition drinking 3 of us for a company. Also today, 13th of January, so it's in Russia, Old New Year. So we have a reason to drink from one of those 365 reasons of calendar. Drink number 2, elder, or I don't know, elderflower, but it's elder. But it's very strong. This one is already 36 degrees. It smells very nice and fruity. It's very easy to drink. Really smooth. It's one of those you can drink, and then your face hits the table because it's really, really strong, but very easy to drink. But you have a little sip and you can feel the warmth coming down. Now I'm ready for the last one. This one with the sedatory juice, but this one is very strong. It's a 45 degrees. This is, they call it nastoika. So basically when the vodka mixed with the different types of juices. So this is the sedatory juice, and I'm trying to drink it. Oh, ugh. If you like vodka, you would like this, but like I said to you before, I don't like it. Even if it's flavored, it's really... I can feel the warmth. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I sound like an alcoholic, I'm always drinking. But if you're in the vodka museum, you have to try different types of vodka. Actually, you have a very good choice. You only have 3 samples, but there's about 20 different types you can try, different 20 types of flavors you can try. You can pay, instead of £2.50, you can pay 5, you have double. You can pay more, you can just sit here on the tables because it's like a little, you see, little table area. But I don't think they would like it if you get drunk here. Bear this in mind. Okay, to be honest, this is the best £5 I ever spent. Museum is very interesting. Tasting was very nice. And like I said, you can try for £2.50 3 drinks, but you can buy again and again. You would not believe how many types of vodka we have here. Can imagine in UK now gin is very popular. You can buy hundreds of different types of gin. Same thing with Russia with vodka. Everybody knows vodka is a huge, big part of Russia. It's also a big curse of Russia. We have very low life expectancy here for men, and mostly due to drinking. Statistically, 25% of deaths, early deaths, happened due to consumption of alcohol. A lot of buildings here built from wood, old style, and it's decorated in very old, traditional Russian style. Colors, how it would be in 15th, 16th, 17th century. Most of these little buildings are little museums. This one, it's a museum for children of all folklore stories. There's this antique area, we're gonna go there in a second. Of course, there's not really much going on now here. It's winter. If I would come here for the weekend, of course, there would be twice as many people, because weekend is really popular places for locals to come here hanging around. So all this, look at this, all this showing different types of museums. They even have Japanese museum, Japanese dolls, legends and stories. So if you come here for the weekend, you see, all this is like sorts of covered shops. There would be all antique stores. So if you're here, who knows, maybe you come here anyway, after all this so-called special operation ends, you maybe want to come here. And if you want souvenirs, do not buy them anywhere. Do not buy them on Arbat, do not buy them by the Red Square. Come here, because here you're gonna buy the real good stuff. And if you want to buy Russian hats, you're not gonna buy some cheap knockoff. Here you can actually buy the real army hats, medals, anything you like. And also normal touristy tarts like magnets and stuff. Because there's not much going on here. Here is a hotel. I'm gonna check out some of the museums. I did want to do a little bit of shopping, I wanted to buy some traditional stuff. I use it at home. I use gzhel and hakhlama. Hakhlama, it's wooden plates and stuff which is painted. And I use it in my kitchen. It makes me feel good, to have something Russian traditional when I'm at home. Keep me in touch with my background. When I was talking about gel and hakhlama, this is a hakhlama. It's a wood and it's traditional decorated. It's not only spoons. I've got at home sugar bowl. I've got all sorts of things. But I'm too scared to use it because I don't want that paint wash off. So you see, hachlama could be anything. I've got one of those, just slightly bigger, sugar bowl, but it's plenty of different types. This is also a place for collectors to come. There is a music shop here when you can buy vinyls from 50s, 60s, 70s. Anything you collect, stamps, you collect coins, anything you can come here. Medals, in Russia, very popular collection of medals. And also if you want something rare, you can find people who knows people who knows people, and you might can buy it. If you are a fashion animal, you might would want to go here, workplace fashion. It's right up there. They do courses on how to make your own clothes, how to design your own clothes, or how to decorate it. They also specialize in the things like, let's say you have something you don't like anymore. You can bring it here, and they can advise you how can you bring it back to life, make it more modern, more quirky, more different. Look at this. This is all hand painted. Little jewelry boxes, just ordinary boxes. Здрасте. You can buy interesting t-shirts here. Also, if you're into Soviet Union memorabilia or army, you can get it all here as well. Just a little example, here you can buy 4 magnets for 100 rubles or 1 for 2, 150, when on the Red Square they all start at 250, 300. This place, Kuznitsa, it's a metal work. It's closed right now. There is a phone number there. If you want to make anything by order, handmade, you can give a call and they do it. But for the weekends, they open. It's like a little museum, and you can see how the handmade, how they work on metal. You see, it's all hand painted. You can even see the brush marks. They put a lot of effort to make this place beautiful. Of course, another reason why it's all so quiet, it's the sanctions. This is number 2 most recommended place to visit in Moscow, but there are no foreign tourists here due to the sanctions. This is why it's so quiet. And this is a registrad where you get married. You get married here, take a couple of pictures, and then go have your reception. In Russia, you have to go to registrar to get married. Even if you're married in church, then you have to come in here and register it. Lenin and Gorky. Quite an interesting. I've seen Lenin in pink color. And here, Museum of Bread. We all eat bread. And obviously French, Italian love the bread. But in Russia, bread is everything. If you don't have bread, you are hungry. You didn't have the food. My dad, for example, he would actually eat bread with bread. Marzipan has a workshop. Here you can decorate different marzipan, and plasticine museum. And you can see world of plasticine and what you can make of it. In 80s, plasticine cartoons was extremely popular here. And they kind of reinvented themselves right now. And they even make new ones. And the old ones, Soviet Union ones, become really, really popular. Kids love it. For £3, or 2 costumes for £5, you can dress yourself as Tsarita, take pictures and just walk around. You sort of can rent the costume. I bet a lot of people doing this in the summer. I just come out of one of the jewelry shop. I bought myself a pendant, really lovely, beautiful pendant. And ladies told me that it's all weekends now because it's off season. So in this building you can go all the way to the top, but not today. Today is closed and tomorrow it will be open, but unfortunately tomorrow I'm not going to be in Moscow anymore. And I'm in Russia again. Funny enough, in the past 7 months I was here more often than in the past 20 years. It's quite a miserable reason. My mom is very ill, she's in a care home here. It doesn't look really good. So the sound's probably going to be very bad as well, because I just realized I forgot my mic in the hotel. So how much different it's look between winter and the summer? Let's have a look. Well, it's certainly a lot more people today. Not very nice weather. I arrived here on Thursday where it was beautiful, hot and sunny. Last night was raining and today is quite miserable. It's not cold, it's just very dull. It's very English weather. Look at the sky, very grey sky. But it's a Saturday. I don't think it will stop a lot of people to enjoy the weekend. So this is in Izmailovo Kremlin. It's a second Kremlin in Moscow. Obviously it's not an original, it was built here in 90s. But vernissage was here all the time, even in Soviet Union time. Back then it was one of the coolest places. It was a market, like a flea market, and it was very popular for artists. There was a lot of artists used to sell their paintings here. And it's overgrowing itself as now it's become like a park and big attraction and very popular place to come for the weekends. So flea markets on the weekend still exist. People bring their stuff. You know what it's like. Other people's rubbish and other people's treasure. It used to be very popular here for a black market as well. Medals, money, anything illegal you could have buy here if you knew people who knew people. You can buy a lot of wires for the appliances you don't have and you don't need, and a little bits and pieces. A lot more stalls open now than there was back then in the winter. All the museums still working the same because they were open back then. They're still open now, but there's a lot of street food going on. As I mentioned previously, it's a popular place for weddings because it's not only now there is a venue, a hall here, but it's also here registration office. And this is the Museum of Vodka, which I visited in January. And you happened to end up here, for any bizarre reason, come and visit. You cannot come to Russia and don't visit Vodka Museum. I won't be spending a lot of time here today because I filmed it all in the winter and most of the scenery you will see will be from winter. I just wanted to show you that it does coming back to life in summer. It's slightly quieter now because it's already almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Most of the action happens here in the morning. Even they open late, in the evening most of the people come here just for food because it's a lot of nice restaurants here. You can buy nice fruits. Tree of Love. Everybody who gets married come here, put the lock on and hope that the marriage would last forever. And we all know it's not always working. You see behind me, there are a lot of funky museums here. There's a toy museum, doll museum, there's Museum of Bread. They have Marzipan Museum. They're all very tiny. They're all, some of them free, some of them you have to pay, but it's very cheap. You pay like £1 or so for entrance, because entrance to the actual park called the territory here in the Kremlin, it's free. So they all rent in sort of spaces here and open up. It's tons of different types of food. And I'm gonna stop and have a shashlik because it's already late afternoon. And I never had anything to eat since my breakfast, and like I said, because of my mom I didn't really had a good day, so as much as I try to entertain myself in spare time, I am not in a great mood. And plus there is something cooking up here. I'm hoping tomorrow I can get out. My flight's tomorrow morning at 9 because there is a lot of cars, a lot of trucks, a lot of tanks coming here. This is a traditional shashlik. I just had one of those, it was so nice. I just consumed half a kilo of meat. Didn't even blink. All this is a big hotel complex. They're actually not bad, the prices are very good. I was even thinking to book the room here, but the hotel I'm staying in is ideal location for me personally. But underground, right next to it, you can go anywhere you want, and if you want somewhere cheap and cheerful with good breakfast, those places good. They call Izmailovo complex. There's a 4-star hotel Delta, Alpha, but this is all Izmailovo complex. Well, July's Prigozhin coup finished as soon as it started. Nobody even had the time to realize what's happening or to get scared. So I gone home safe and sound.